Hi guys, Jason from JVA Carpy Adventures, and welcome to this very short video on how to get the correct nozzle size for your Boilie rolling table. So this was requested by Daryl some time ago, so sorry Daryl, hadn't done it sooner, but I've had a few more people ask for it and therefore I thought I would. So, all newbies guys, I've had loads of problems, all newbies will have problems when they first start off making boilies to get them round. Now I'm just going to let you know straight off the bat, I'm not that fussed if they're round or barrel shaped. Round or barrel shaped is good for me. Past that, which I'll show you pictures later, isn't. But for the purpose of this video we're going to aim for the round. So firstly, the kit. I started off with just a normal sort of hand triggered gun, but I moved to this electric one, which I'll be honest, when you're rolling a fair bit, this is a game changer. It's absolutely fantastic. The only thing I had to add was, what you can see green there is the sort of plate from Gardner, so that it touches all that, which is really good. So that's the gun. What about the nozzles? So there are generally two types of nozzles I use guys. The probably more common ones you see are like this, and probably not so common ones you see are like this. Now these came with the anesthetic gun, so I decided to use them, and actually I haven't found them that bad. They're cheap, they're just a normal corking nozzle, and they're very easy to cut with a Stanley knife, so I do use them. But these are the ones that are most widely recognised nozzles like this. Now I will say something about these. I did buy some, I think off Amazon, and they had markings on them with regards to the size. So I thought, oh brilliant, that'll make it easier for me. So yeah, 16mm, used a hacksaw, cut it, and it was terrible. It was way too big. So I think you're better off using, if you're going to use these, use the plain ones. Don't use the ones that have predetermined on there. I didn't find it worked very well for me. And as you'll see on these, I do tend to write on these, so that'd be a 16mm round. That one would be a 16mm FB, which means fat barrel for me guys. So those are the ones I generally use and have the most amount of success with. Now I'm going to show you the first picture up here now, and that is roughly a guide of what nozzle size you should be using for what rolling table size. On here it will say boiling size, by that I mean the rolling table size, boilie you want to make, and the nozzle size. So just bring it back to me for a second guys. Now when I say nozzle size, I do not mean what you can see on the outside there. I mean the internal diameter, and for measuring that I use a set of calipers. So I would put this on the inside, open it up, and that measurement there is what I believe this would be. So on a 16mm, as you can see on the table, it would say roughly 13mm. Now I would initially cut this nozzle so that it'd be about 12mm, and then I'd get a 1 egg mix. I've put a little bit through it. Okay, it's a little bit barrel, you'd get a couple little flat spots. If I wanted to make it round, get a bit of sandpaper and I would just rub that on it, clean it, blow it, try it again until I'm happy with it, and you will get a lovely nice round boilie with this. Combination of using these has really helped me guys. It might be advantageous for you to do the same. You've cut your nozzle. Just going to give you another little picture here now guys. So you've cut your nozzle, you've made it a little bit smaller because that's how you really want to start off every time when you're just starting to cut a nozzle for a new table. And you've got the barrel shape as this picture shows. Now I like the barrel shaped boilies, I've got to be honest. I think they're a little bit more unusual, they're not the norm, and I love barrel shaped boilies, and I actually quite like the fat barrels quite a lot, so I tend to do more of them than I probably do the round. But the goal here is to hit the round. So I've got the fat barrel, I'm going to keep trimming either with a knife or sandpaper, doing a few boilies along the way until I go from the barrel shape to the round boilie. That's perfection. Now the next one on from that, in the picture it says hollow center, and that basically means you've trimmed a little bit too much and now you've got too much material going into each boilie. On the forums and all, most people call this tank tracks, and essentially guys, there's not really any way to save it at that point. I've done this plenty of times with nozzles and I've ended up having to hand roll them, and that can be quite painstaking. So what I'd recommend is, if you're doing it on a smaller size, that you then save that nozzle for maybe a bigger table you might get at a later date, or one you may already have. So those are your two main guidelines, guys. So that picture on the first one and then this one here, you know, it's fairly straightforward, but until you get it right, it will be painful. I've got to be honest, it will be painstakingly difficult, but once you're there, you're there. Now, there is one other caveat to that, and that is, you might have, I'm going to keep using 16mm because it's just the most popular that I use. So you might have your 16mm round nozzle perfect for your boilies, and then you might make a pop-up mix, a 1 egg pop-up mix for it. Try to do the same thing. Now, different mixes, also base ingredients mixes, different mixes can produce slightly different sizes. So just bear that in mind, guys. I would always, if you're going to try a new mix or a new formula, particularly like I like to do cork dust wafter barrels, and I mean, it's okay with a barrel, to be fair, so that probably wasn't the best example. So a barrel's okay, because if it's a little bit bigger than you intended it to be, it just looks like a fat barrel as opposed to a barrel. That's fine. But with a round, you know, it might dry it out a bit more as well, so that's worth noting. So the amount of time you've got to roll them, but also your different mixes can affect how it comes out of your nozzle. So just always bear that in mind, guys. It's always good to test things, particularly if you're going to do a new mix. Also, I don't know if you guys have them as well, but when I get to the end of the nozzle and you've got what's left in the nozzle, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm there with a spoon pushing it out, and then I used to hand roll a lot of them for the last ones, but now I've just bought some of those little gardener tables that are literally just for rolling the sausage, and they're really quite good as well. They're pretty handy, they're pretty spot on, to be fair. So if you're using them as opposed to a nozzle, they can be quite good for when you just got a small amount to do, guys. So that's well worth noting. Alright guys, so just to summarise, I'm going to put both these pictures up for you. Cutting that nozzle, initially I would cut it at least 1mm smaller than what it says on here, and either sand it or trim it to the right size. If your boilies look like barrels and you don't want them to, then your nozzle's a little bit too small. If your boilies come out and they've got holes on either side and they look like tank tracks, then your nozzle's definitely too big. You need to redo that nozzle, really and truly, guys. So it is only a quick guide. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your boilie making. I have been enjoying it. I still need to do a bit more, I've got to be honest. I haven't quite got the perfect formula or perfect boilie yet, so I'm going to keep trying to do that, but it's fun along the way. I hope you guys enjoy the boilie making as well. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, it does help me out greatly, and I do put content out every single Friday, from a quick video like this to half-hour vlog most of the time. So if you've enjoyed this quick little video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like any other videos on the site, give them the thumbs up, and if you want to be notified of future posts, hit that bell icon for me, guys. So it just leaves me to say, stay safe, stay fishing, and I'll see you in the next vlog.